Hello! I'm Haywood Taylor, and this is Que Fuerte, Barcelona, in association with Barcelona City FM. For those of you listening on 107.3, you are in for a treat because the geezer that we've got in here has got a great voice. And for those of you watching on YouTube and Facebook, he's all right, isn't he? This is, of course, Diego Cassina. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's exactly it.
Diego Cassina. Right. So quickly, I just want to say thanks for coming in because I wasn't sure if you were going to... First of all, I wasn't sure what part of the world you're in. And so when I messaged you after watching a lot of your videos, because I love what you're doing and the message that you're trying to get out there, I thought on a whim, you know what, message him and just see if he can come in. And it turned out you were on your way to Barcelona. And here you are.
Yeah, here I am. Thank you.
What made you decide to come to Barcelona?
Well, I actually was going to Paris for a little love story of sorts. And then on my way back, for whatever reason, I wanted to go to Barcelona, and then you reached out to me.
Yeah.
And it felt like
the
universe aligned.
It connected.
Yeah.
Okay. For those that don't know, what is it that you do? What is it that you're doing? And is it fair to call you like a motivational speaker?
Yeah, I mean, for me, so much of it revolves around self-love, you know, and love itself. You know, I really like connection between people. I think those moments are the ones that actually bring us together, that we find our home. And I think also the connections that we have with other people are the same ones that we have with ourselves. And so if we can get to a place of self-love and we can go out and experience that love and share it with other people, we really get to a place of beauty. And so, yes, I guess you could call me a motivational speaker. I do some of the very similar work to actually bring people to a sense of balance, peace, but then also, you know, align their lives in whatever area they want to take it.
How did you get yourself into this? I mean, did you know at an early age that this is something that you wanted to do? You want to help people. You want to, you know, as cheesy as it might sound, make the world a better place, like one person at a time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it happened over a long haul. You know, it's not like there was one individual moment when I thought I'm going to do this. But I mean, there were little things along the way. You know, growing up, my dad would drive me to the local school that I had, and you know, I was 6 or 7, and we'd listen to tapes by Les Brown, you know, Tony Robbins, all these guys who were influential as the motivational speaker field. Yeah. And so I grew up with that, I guess, in the background, although of course I think the process of finding oneself includes losing oneself. Yeah. And so there was a large portion of time when I really didn't understand things. Yeah. You know, and so I went out there, I connected with people, and for a long time, you know, I mean, I graduated in engineering, I have, you know, all these biological engineering degrees, and you know, worked in corporate positions, but to me, like at the end, I was like, well, what do I want to do? And to me, it was, well, what do I love? And that was the answer. I
mean, you say that you've got to lose yourself sometimes to find yourself. Mm-hmm. Did you lose yourself in a dark sense, or did you lose yourself in you were doing a 9-to-5 job, something that you didn't particularly like, but then realized this isn't for me? Or did you go down a bit of a rocky path?
I think all of them.
Yeah.
You know, I think all of them. And, you know, I have touched darkness. You know, I have been in darkness. And I think part of being in darkness allows you then to be able to step into it afterward and help somebody that is in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then, you know, so that in that portion, yes, being lost also in terms of like, what is the path that I want to take in my own personal development life?
That's right. I think you're in a better position to be able to help people that are in a place of darkness if you have touched on it yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like I think there's a lot of people that preach and have motivational wisdom, but if they haven't actually experienced some of the pain themselves, then it might not come across as genuine. And that's one of the things that I like about your videos, is that it does come from a genuine place. There was one in particular, one video, which we mentioned briefly earlier, how a man feels when he cares. And it's quite a successful video in terms of, you know, social media. Why do you think this one in particular like really resonates with people? Why did that one go viral? Because it was, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but it was a deep one.
It was.
It was a deep.
And you see me right now, like even getting into it. It was real.
It was real.
It was real.
For those of you that don't know, it's a video where Diego it's not even a concept. He's talking about love and about the one that means everything to you, and how, you know, you're everything to you is because of the woman in your life. You explain it, because it's better if it comes from you. Go on. You got this.
It's just, you know, It's those moments when you lose words, and I think that video was, me getting in front of a camera. And usually there's these videos that I craft over the course of several hours to put out there, and hope it does well on social media. But this one, I just, on a second take, I went there and I just unloaded my emotion.
Yes.
And for me, I think it's not speaking about emotion, but having an emotion and speaking. And it was right after being with this person is just.
Yeah, you didn't have to speak about the emotion. You could feel it was there. For those of you that are intrigued about the videos, I'm sure you are by now, you can go over, well, we'll send you the links there, but for those on the radio, it's Diego Cassina. Go check out the video because it's cool. I love it. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions maybe you can help me with, and I've spoken to a few people and they want to know the answers to these questions. Let's see your take on it, okay? What would you say to those that have been repeatedly hurt in the past and they can't find love? Is it really everybody else, or are they repressing something that is holding them back? Now, I say this because I've got a friend in particular, and she's always looking for love. She's a hopeless romantic, but she always keeps finding guys that it doesn't work out for one reason or another. They stop messaging back, they stop calling, they go cold all of a sudden, and she can't figure it out. She can't figure out why. Mm-hmm. Is it something she's doing, or is it really just a hopeless case?
I mean, a lot of these situations are very dependent on the individual. When somebody comes to me with a problem, I know that sometimes it might seem like a superficial issue, but then we go to the root cause and we find that there's something deeper that we can pull out. Right. But to give kind of like an overview on that, sometimes what happens is we go out into life and we keep getting hit with the same lesson until we finally learn it.
Okay.
And so when it comes to situations like that, when you find that you keep attracting somebody, maybe there's something that you can find in yourself. Sometimes some of us, what we do is we seek love, and then other times what we're doing is we're seeking challenge. And when we're finding challenge and we keep looking for the person that's unavailable, that's one route. I think it's much more beautiful to come at it from a place of, hey, I love myself fully, and I choose to give this to somebody. And whether they choose to have it or not, that's up to them. I can't make that decision for them.
That's right. Do you think men are more, because you give a lot of words of wisdom, and ultimately you're trying to help people, like receive and give love. Do you find men generally are a little bit more resistant in the sense that, women tend to be more emotional on the surface, and they come from a place of emotion, and a lot of men are very facts, how it is, literal speaking.
Right.
But then some men, they struggle with the whole love scenario as well. Do you think men generally have deeper issue with finding love or finding that true love?
I don't believe that they have a deeper issue with it. I just think that they've been repressed so much in society these days. Men are told, hey, if you're emotional, if you're vulnerable, then, you're somehow
less
not strong. Somehow less of a man. And I come out with a lot of vulnerability, but I do it knowing that because it's who I am, right? And so if somebody attacks me, I get attacked all the time on social media, right? Yeah. But the thing is, I do it and I get hit with the spear, and I just pull it out and drop it, because I know who I am. Yeah. And I think that shows an element of strength that a woman can support. Yeah. So when you come at it from that angle, and you're a woman can really fall into that. And then honestly, women have taught me so much. Going out there and meeting women and then realizing I didn't know what energy was. I thought that was some weird hypothetical thing. Yeah. And then I'm in front of somebody just this past week, and it's just energy. It's just this thing that you can't describe in words.
I've got a few friends that are in their 30s and they've never been in relationships, and they're very resistant to being in a relationship even though the opportunities have arisen. And they're like, oh, why would I want to do that? It's just going to be a whole lot of heartache and a lot of drama. And I'm like, I've learned so much about myself by the various relationships that I've had in my life. Positive and negative. When you fall in love with someone and then they just tell you how it is, you're like, oh yeah, because another person's opinion that you feel so closely to, suddenly you learn a lot about yourself. What do you say to people that they're resistant to try and find that love?
Well, I think every single person has, they still have an animal brain, right? And so a lot of times we're not going to go forward with something if we attribute more pain to that behavior than pleasure to it. And so a lot of times what it is we keep ourselves from entering relationship because we've been hurt from the past, or we have some vision or some thought process about why we shouldn't be in there. And if you really go in there, you realize that most of that stuff is just not true. It's something that is in the past, and it's as done as the dinosaurs, you know. So live in the present moment, and when you feel it, go for it.
He knows. Yeah. I could listen to you for hours, to be honest.
Thanks.
Okay, I've got one more question about this. Is it true that men grieve harder when it comes to a breakup? I know it's a very black and white question. I'm sure there's not a black and white answer. But what's your take on that?
I can just give you my experience, you know, from, you know, wanting to be with somebody and just however that turns out or doesn't turn out. It's just, yeah, you fall in, you know. And I think when we put ourselves into an emotional intensity, especially because we don't typically go there as men.
Yeah.
It's harder to pull ourselves out. You know, if you look at a woman's daily experience, it's beautiful in the sense that she can go from, you know,
Jesus Christ, I don't know how they do it.
But it's so fascinating, so alluring.
All the emotions within one day.
Yeah,
which can be confusing for us, right?
Yeah, I mean, they can cry and laugh and joyous and hug, and whereas a man, you know, if he gets hit with pain, it's, you know, you're there, you could be there for like months.
Yeah.
You know? So
I remember a particular breakup that I had a few years ago. And I went into such a dark place for a good, well, actually, in fairness, it took me about a year to get over it. But in those initial months, it was like I've never felt pain like it, like the deep kind.
Yeah.
Do you think when you go through these breakups that you end up holding like emotional scarring? Do all these breakups, like, I think, because I know a couple of women that they've gone through breakups and then they're hesitant to get back involved because they're just scared of going through the same pain.
Right.
But I mean, does it make us like emotionally stunted to go through that, or is it character building?
If you believe it to be so.
Yeah.
That's what I say. You know, I mean, if you want to attribute a meaning to it and say, you know, because of that, I will always be scarred.
Yeah.
Then that's how the rest of your life is going to play out.
Yeah.
But if you say, because of that, I am now strong.
Absolutely.
That's how the rest of your life is going to play out. So you choose.
I love
That's
it.
true for me.
What have you got coming up this year? What is Diego planning for 2017?
So 2017, so 2016 was the initiation of my Finding Love seminar,
Yes.
Which was really helping people find their own love and know that in a moment you could change your life, you know, and all it takes sometimes is a moment of eye contact. And so for me this year, it's going to be a little bit more traveling. There's going to be a couple seminars. I'm looking potentially at Los Angeles and perhaps one overseas, whether that's Australia or Europe.
Awesome.
I'm looking into that as well. But honestly, that writing and
keep doing what you're doing.
And keep doing what you're doing.
Where can people find you, read your stuff, listen to your stuff, watch your stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm most active on Facebook. You can find me there. It's you would just type in Diego B. Cassina or Diego Cassina, look for the one with all the followers. Or you can also go to my website, which would be bumpingintolove.com.
Wicked. Diego Cassina, good-looking bloke, great voice, and he's got a lot to say. This is Que Fuerte, Barcelona, on Barcelona City FM. That's 107.3. Diego, thank you, man. Short, sweet.
Thanks, man.
And that's that.
Sweet.
Cheers.